Hi there,
Cool.
I'm the CRM Ninja, and on today's episode of The Oops Factor, I'm delighted to be joined by Julia Simpson.
Hello, how are you?
I'm very well, thanks. As you can see, I'm in a tent.
It's a lovely orange tent.
It is a lovely orange tent,
Um,
and viewers may be wondering why I'm in a tent, and the reason I'm in a tent is because I know that you enjoy camping. So I thought I
Very
would
much so.
join you virtually in today's day and age.
Oh, that's so lovely. I grew up camping in Australia all the time, so camping is very much part of my blood. It's very different over here in the UK, though.
Is it slightly
Mm.
wetter?
It is slightly wetter. I had to rethink my strategy when it came to the tent and buy a different tent over here, one that
Okay.
has the fly and the insides all in a one piece, so you can get it up quicker in the rain.
Yes, yes. It's rain can sometimes be a challenge here in the UK, surprisingly.
Yeah, no. But everything, as with life, is everything's all right if you have the right equipment. And
That
the
is
same
very
goes
true.
with camping. It can be quite a fun experience if you have the right equipment.
I actually
Um,
found out a couple of days ago that a colleague of mine, this is totally unrelated to all of this, but a colleague of mine takes a proper coffee machine with them camping.
oh,
They
it's
have a generator
fantastic.
and they have this like coffee machine, not a small one, to make proper coffee whilst away.
Oh, we use a French press.
Okay.
No, no, not a French press. We do have a French press that we take camping with us, but we also have one of those. I'm not the coffee person. My other half is the coffee person. It's you stick mocha pot that you stick
Okay.
on the stove top when you can go
Right.
camping, and it makes a lovely coffee. Um,
Sounds wonderful.
yeah.
Where are some of the most interesting camping experiences that you've been to and had?
Okay, so I reckon one of the coolest ones was when I was probably around 16, 17, and I was in the Scouts, so I was in what we call the Venturers, which is around 14 to 18.
Okay.
Um, and we had gone up to a camping ground in Australia, or actually a mountain range. Oh my God, I'm blanking what it's called now. It's just up from the Central Coast in and up. Um, it's going to come to me randomly throughout this. Anyway,
That's
so we're up
fine.
on this mountain. We had arrived quite late on a Friday night. It was dark. We pitched up our tents, and it was all what it is. And we're like, okay, yep, you know what? Pitch up the tents, get ready. We'll go. We'll start off. We'll start the hike in the morning.
Okay.
Morning comes around. We hop out of our tent, and we are standing in a field of kangaroos. They're just sitting there, just chilling out, and we're sitting there. We went, oh. And then a couple of swear words, trying to be as quiet as we can, because if we were to scare the kangaroos too much and they were just to pounce, then our tent would be flattened and it wouldn't be a very pleasant experience.
For those people who
Um,
haven't come into close proximity to kangaroos, can you explain a bit more about that?
okay, well, they weren't red kangaroos. So there's two types of kangaroos. So we have red, well, there's lots of types of kangaroos, but we have red and we have grey. They're the ones. The red ones are
Yep.
the ones that the UK are familiar with. They're the ones that, the big fighty ones that you get all the novelty pens with and that sort of stuff. Um, The grey ones are a little bit smaller. They're probably about waist height when they're bent over.
Okay.
And they can range depending if they're male or female, how big they are. And they're solid little machines. Like if you were to run over them, you get a decent dent in your car.
Got it.
Your car might, depending on the car you. This is how you can tell I grew up in the country. Your car would survive if you had the bull bars on them. If you just had like a little Yaris, your car probably wouldn't survive after hitting a kangaroo.
Or if you were driving a Volvo, that would probably survive as well.
I don't remember seeing a lot of Volvos out in the bush.
Possibly not, for probably for different reasons.
um, so that one was quite spectacular. I haven't been camping too much here in the UK yet.
Okay.
I'm still fighting my other half. He doesn't like camping. Um, he quite enjoys the comfort of a B&B.
Right.
So I'm
Okay.
slowly converting him.
You could, of course, go somewhere with an Airbnb, which has some nice, very nice fields or some forest nearby. He could stay in the Airbnb, and you could do the camping.
That is true, but it's not the same. It's just something really nice about, waking up in a tent and being out in the nature and being
Yeah,
disconnected. And you don't get that when you're in a B and b
that is
Um,
true. Yes.
and the comfort of being able to switch on a light. There's
Yeah.
something magical about it all that I love.
Definitely. Wonderful.
Especially the
Well,
sunrise, as per your picture.
indeed. I'm not quite sure if this is
Um,
sunrise or sunset, and obviously if I turn around, I'm not going to actually see it because it is flat.
do we even know if it's
Beautiful.
like the UK or if it looks kind of American actually?
I'm not going to say where it is. I'll leave it to you to
Ah,
work out. There's the mystery of the
okay.
day. So going from the magic of camping
Okay.
to the
Mm-hmm.
wonders of whatever you're going to share with us for the oops factor.
Yeah, so I guess it's, I'm a FinOps consultant, so very,
Oh,
finance and operations.
it's a rare breed.
You know what? There's a lot of us. There's a lot of us. It's just that we haven't often crossed paths, in my view. CE, where you guys have called it all D365, and FinOps, where we've called it all D365. We've never really talked, we've never really combined until, what about like 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago,
Yeah,
where our worlds have started now really combining properly,
indeed.
thanks to everything. So, and with that, I've started discovering this whole new world of consultants and other people who think D365 is not FinOps, and um, yeah, it's been a fantastic discovery, getting to know the two different sides. Um, yeah, it is very different. There's data structures very different, data modeling, how you even do setup, and
Oh,
going into the
yes,
journey of the Power Platform as well.
very
Um,
much so.
yes, there has been there have been resistance a little bit, I find, from the FinOps crowd to go onto Power Platform.
There's a phrase
Um,
coming into mind, resistance is futile, but
very much
we're
so.
very
There's
nice
been some
about it.
fantastic leaders in the community that are really driving the whole finance and operations Power Platform
Yes,
integrations. Talking, so they're really, they're doing a lot for the community.
definitely.
Those guys.
So do you have something to share with us around FinOps or Power Platform, or I'm all agog to hear?
Well, I suppose going along the lines of the oops factor. I mean, it's not a hugely exciting story, but it does remind me of when I made the jump from being an accountant to being a consultant.
Okay.
Um, I don't know. I didn't realize that this wasn't quite common knowledge because I heard, someone just talking, and people didn't realize that you do develop FinOps. It is a system that can be developed, that does get heavily developed,
Yes.
and particularly within the financial modules, developments that we get between customers are pretty similar. Um, so back in the 2009 days when we would need to import journals, it didn't come with that, so that would be something that was developed.
Okay.
Um, and it just so happened that I've worked on FinOps or in AX 2009 back in the days, for multiple different customers. So back in Australia and over here in the UK. So, and all of them, despite having different partners, had the same development done.
Okay.
It looked the same, it acted the same. And so I just assumed that it was standard. And this is another thing that's always quite fun when you are an end user going from a consultant, and not one of the ones that gets involved with the whole process, but an actual end user,
Oh,
who just gets given a system and said, this is to use it. So I always assume that's just how it is. That's and then, so first week of being a consultant, all going well. Second week being a consultant, the boss said, I'm going to take you on to a pre-sales activity. It's going to be great. Get to see what pre-sales is all about. So I go along, and this lovely company in London. I was very excited to be traveling and in London and getting to see what pre-sales is all about.
it's
And of
exciting.
course, I know, I was so excited. Going up to this company, which was a recognizable company. And they were wanting to go into 2012, which is kind of like the big precursor to what FinOps really is.
Yeah.
Um, and of course, as a young consultant or a new consultant who wants to try and show their worth, so to say, say, oh yeah, I'm okay. You did a good thing by employing me. I try to get involved with the conversation as much as I can, and the conversation goes along, and the guys are like, saying what's really important to them. And they say it's really, really important that we can integrate fully with Excel, that we can upload via Excel. And
Okay.
here I am just going, yeah, of course, that's standard. I did it all the time. Not a problem. And my boss was just, trying to smile. He didn't, to his blessing, he never contradicted me. We just continued on. We changed the conversation really quickly. And then, yeah, afterwards he comes back and says, that's not standard. And that was probably my very first oops in the FinOps world, is learning that developments, that first of all, the system can be developed, and second, that they can also partners look very similar development-wise.
Yes.
So, yeah, it is good fun.
Did you manage to sell an additional piece of work to make it standard for them?
Oh yeah, of course. It's what apparently I found out it's a very common development that everyone used to do back in the 2012 days. It's since now a standard functionality, to be honest with you. Since we've gone into the D365 world.
Microsoft took note that everybody was developing it and thought, why not? Let's roll it out.
Yeah, pretty much. And now it's one of the, and that's a really cool thing I love about Microsoft, is that they actually pay attention, and the system is getting a lot better than what it used to be.
Continuous involvement and development.
Yeah, it used to be a very bad finance system, and now it's all right.
I'm glad to hear. I'll take your word for it. I'm not a FinOps person.
That's okay. We can always convert you.
I have dabbled in it a little bit, but I got
it's
you
very,
right up
very
and running
different.
recently.
Comparing the FinOps, getting started on FinOps versus getting started on CE.
Yes.
I really struggle with CE a lot more than I do FinOps. FinOps to me just feels natural, whereas CE, I'm just like, what?
Yeah.
The whole thing.
Just the way of life. Wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you for sharing such a wonderful story. And now comes your chance to nominate somebody to appear on the show to hear their Oops Factor story.
Well, there's a couple of fantastic FinOps people out there.
Okay.
So we have Kayla from Microsoft. She does absolutely amazing work. And Kay-sun as well, and I'll have to find you his last name. He's doing amazing work over in New Zealand within the Asia Pacific region, Australasia Pacific.
Brilliant.
He is doing absolutely amazing work when it comes to FinOps and Power Platform, and really, advertising all the cool stuff that it can do.
I shall reach out to them then.
They are lovely, lovely people, particularly leading the way in terms of public communication as well, which I think they're really cool.
Definitely so. Well, thank you so much for those nominations.
That's okay.
Viewers, we hope that you've enjoyed the episode. Julia, thank you so much for coming on the show. People
thank you
watching,
very much for having me.
Absolute pleasure. People watching, feel free to subscribe to the rest of the Oops Factor series. Take a look at them, subscribe to the channel, check out the blog, and above all, have a great day.